Conversation with Jacqueline and Chyi. Step into the world of luxury and empowerment with Luxe Conversations, okay? Today we are here with the lovely Toria Jermaine, and we're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about dating and intentional dating and the difference between intentional dating and intentional living because they are truly different, okay? And we're just going to explore today. We're going to dive into the intersection of elegance, empowerment, and abundance. That sounds fun. Luxe Conversations has truly transformed my life, having them with myself and other people. And I have had a couple conversations with Miss Jermaine here, and she has definitely enlightened and inspired me as well as my audience in the past. So, let's dive in. So, how are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm happy to see you. I feel
I'm
like
so happy.
there's more light in this session today than there was in the last one. So I'm excited about that.
There you go.
Today we're going to dive into topics that you have chosen. Okay. Why did you choose these topics? Like for intentional living and dating, things like that. Like what is that? What does that mean to you and like maybe your business?
So, a lot of times when I see women come to me for boudoir photography, a lot of times they're in a certain place in their lives, especially with dating, because we talk about dating a lot when they're getting their hair and makeup done, when they are in the lingerie and trying things on and taking photos. They are talking about their relationships a lot, be it if they had a breakup, a divorce, they're getting married, this is their anniversary. I somehow attract women who deal with relationships a lot and they enjoy it. So, this is one of the things that I've seen a lot going on in my own life with the ladies that I've worked with, as well as online, where women are not dating intentionally or they want to deepen into the relationship that they currently have. So I really believe that having an intentional life and living intentionally will help lead women into dating intentionally. Even if they are married, they can still date themselves and their husbands and deepen into that relationship and make it a lot juicier and a lot more delicious.
Okay. I love that. I love the idea of intentional dating because
Mhm.
like when I was dating, I was definitely not intentional. At the time I was just like I think that a lot of us just grow up and we're just told like find a man. Like that's it. That's all the guidance that we get. We don't get it's not what type of man, what he needs to bring to the table, like so on and so forth. And it's just kind of like or woman per se. We kind of all guess. Like we kind of all like out here winging it. And
Yeah.
I think intentional dating takes really working on yourself and like knowing what you want, knowing what you need, knowing like your strengths and your weaknesses and like how to identify those things in other people, you
Hmm.
know? So would you agree like you really have to like kind of date yourself first intentionally before you can actually go outside of that?
Absolutely. I really believe that one, no one was taught how to date because it really hasn't been solidified, especially in our community. Because a lot of people, I'll say elders, were not given that chance. It was more so, are you went to school, now you need to go to college and figure it out, right?
Mm,
But when you are in the process of figuring it out, especially in college, you are really spending a lot of time with yourself. Even though you might be having fun partying and things like that, you're still figuring out who is really my friend, who can I really
mm-hmm.
trust, who can I lean on, and at the end of the day, can I even lean on myself? Can I rely and believe myself and love myself through all these changes and transitions? Because eventually you're going to graduate and
Okay.
eventually you're going to have a lot more time outside of work or outside of school and whatnot. And it's like, do I like spending time with myself? And if so, what do I like doing? And that really builds the backbone of your values and your standards outside of the
Right.
household, outside of your parents, because they give you that foundation. But when you have all that freedom, you get to solidify and say, I don't really like this. Let me change that. And I really value this. Let me
Right.
go forth and deepen into that. And so you really understanding who you are, what you like, what you don't like, that can help you build upon those standards of these are the kind of people I want to spend my time with. These are the kind of people that I see you, but I'm gonna keep going because we don't have anything in common.
Right.
We're not in alignment.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Do you feel like people waste a lot of time trying to force things with people that they are not in alignment with? Like, like the whole changing the man, trying to build a woman, like
Oh, Lord.
all of that. Like, I feel like it is so exhausting. But it is what we were like kind of taught to do. Like, it's not like we're going into this like, okay, if it's like almost a failure for some people if it doesn't work out in a relationship, not realizing that it's a trial run and it's not
Hmm.
always going to work out. It's not supposed to work out with everybody that you date. That's the whole
Hmm.
point of dating. That's the whole point of experiencing people.
Hmm.
So like, where do we, like, how do we I guess, unravel that? Like, how do we deprogram our brains from like, oh, I like him, he's cute, he's got this and that, but he sucks at relationships. But I'm gonna try to fix him.
I think it's a lot of different angles that I'm looking at right now in my mind of how we deprogram that. Because
But just give us the
honestly,
like, I guess, layer, like the outer, the most super, I guess,
I guess I
simple.
can have two different ones. So one of them
Okay.
would be to look at it and realize, like, if this person is treating me like this, what else can I expect from them? You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, if this is the like, we 3 months in, we're dating,
Yeah.
figuring it out. If this is how you are treating me, how will you be treating me if we decide to get married or 5 years down the road? Will we still be dating 5 years down the road?
Ooh, okay.
That's one. Two is what you allow will persist, right? So
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm experiencing in my life, I'm going to continue to allow that to happen until I say no more. This is enough. And the third one is we have to do better for those that come after us. So
Right.
instead of telling them, telling girls, because a lot of us were raised with the thought of you have to be nice to people. You have to endure pain.
Oh my gosh.
You have to endure pain while smiling.
It's
That's another.
traumatic.
And that has led a lot of us to just believing like we have to take crumbs when really we are deserving of so much more. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of us teaching that to those that are coming after us, we have to stop this cycle here with me. Like I
Right.
believe that um my generational curses were already broken when my children were born. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, I am building just by me being and them
Mm-hmm.
seeing me, because children don't listen, they model.
Right.
They not gonna listen because I said so. But what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
So us modeling that self love to others. I think that's the main one, to
Right.
unravel it, because if we allow it to persist within ourselves, it will persist in the next generation.
Absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. I think you're hitting a lot of very, very juicy points here in this realm of like just really like diving into where this comes from, because I think we don't think that deeply. Like we really just kind of just wake up and live, wake up and
Hmm.
go, and then we deal with the mess
Hmm.
later.
And that's really like survival thoughts.
Hmm.
When you can like you can switch it from survival to thrival. Thriving is, okay, I have land and I'm going to take care of it, versus I'm trying to survive. Oh,
Right.
let me get this land, excuse me.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to take care of the house bills and all of this. It's like, no, thrival is I'm building a garden.
Right.
I'm getting rid of the weeds. We are pruning things that don't belong. We are able to make a bouquet of these flowers that we have grown. Like, that is thriving, and that's the goal. That's
Right.
honestly the goal.
Yes, yes, I love that. So like, okay, in this like this realm where we're like experiencing these things and you're like asking yourself these questions like, okay, is this gonna be my guy or girl in 5 years? Is this somebody that I can marry? Is this, that, or that? Like when you realize that that is not the case, like, okay, I can't do this. What I think the thing for me in the past has been like people, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that I'm a Sagittarius, like, I don't know if it's that I'm a
Hey,
little freak or what, but like people go crazy when I try to leave them alone, okay? And I
yeah.
so I'm just like, okay, for the girls that struggle with that, because a lot of women struggle with that. Like, what do we do? Like, no contact, like, do we like try to break it off, and then if it doesn't work out, then do we like escalate to like just ghosting? Like, what do we do?
My
Because
rule, honestly, and this is it's kind of savage and it might be a Sagittarius thing, honestly. But it's like just break it off. Like if you know it's not going to work, just break it off. Like I've been friends with exes in the past and things like that. And it's just like this is not you don't deserve to be around me. You don't deserve to see me on Instagram or like a lot of
say
people will
something.
say like, "Oh, I'm gonna let him see my glow up. I'm going to what is it? He's gonna see me thrive and things like that." And that's all well. That's all
Right.
well. I hear you. However, you also have to be able to understand energy and how energy works. And if you are allowing someone that is not in alignment with you, there is always like energetic debris, right?
Sorry.
There's
I was a
always
little
energetic
long.
debris that can be like in the atmosphere, even though that person may not have access to you. I truly believe in like no contact, blocking them.
Okay.
Because why? Why are we
So you're
going
like, no,
backwards?
you have overextended your welcome in my energy, and you're no, we're done. We're
You
good.
have lost the privilege to have any access to me because we know that this is not working. This is
So
a
is
waste
that
of my
so that
time.
is enough? Like they don't have to do anything wrong, like necessarily. That just knowing, okay, this is a waste of both of our time.
So it
I'm
depends. I'll say it depends. And the only reason that I say that it depends is it depends on how deep of a relationship it was. If
okay.
we went on one date, you can say my Facebook friend and stuff like that. Because I might have a homegirl that may be interested in you.
Yeah.
And I mean, we not
Yeah, y'all not tied in like that. But see, I love that. I love that for you because in a lot of like I hate to say it, but like I don't know if it's just like the way the type of people I grew up around or whatever. But they're not okay with that. Girl, I don't want that man is not my man. Go ahead and try it out. It might will work for you. What didn't work for me
might
might
work for
work for
you.
you. And I am okay with that. I think sometimes we are so possessive over
Mhm.
something that is not ours that we don't even want. And it's insane.
It's like, what's the purpose of you holding out? Like, for me, if and when I have had breakups, I wish you the best.
Yes,
I hope that you receive everything that you could possibly ever want. And especially
absolutely.
if you are a good person, I want you to find a good person. And if that's in my circle, like, go
More
ahead,
power
get it.
to you, baby girl.
Yeah, like I hope
Okay,
you
baby
guys get
boy.
married if that
Yeah.
works out. But as far as possession, like you're a Sagittarius too, and we don't like to be owed unless like
No.
so that's just not something that has been a part of my experience. But of course, like when you have that breakup and people are like kind of possessive and like even friends, and you're just
Hmm.
like, they get kind of like
Yeah, no. I'm
antsy.
yeah.
But I will say I've had a friend in college and he was telling me about the one that got away, right? And so this is one reason that I say block them, okay? And this is
Okay.
this is important. He showed me pictures that he had saved from her Facebook of her husband and her two children. This is the one that got away from him.
I'm flabbergasted
And
because
so when you are energetically like women, we protect spiritually, men protect physically.
physically.
For me to physically or spiritually protect my family, I need to make sure that You don't
Right.
have access to me. You don't have access to pictures of my children, my husband. Like, I know my husband got us. Like, I have no doubt about that. But spiritually and energetically, that is my job. That is my duty.
Yes.
Um, and that's something I experienced in college. Thankfully, I didn't experience it like after, after the
Right.
fact when I'm already married. But it's like, oh no, mm-mm,
Yes. That is
mm-mm,
crazy.
mm-mm.
I couldn't imagine, but I know that that happens, and I know that people really are like not okay sometimes, you
Right.
know. And especially, I don't like I said, I know it's like that little sag razzle dazzle, sprinkle sprinkle, whatever. But I tell you, they don't end well. And it's like I'm just like, okay, we don't have to hate each other. You can be cordial, I can be cordial. I loved you or love you
Mm-hmm.
at one point or still do, and it's like this just doesn't work, like, and
Mm-mm.
it's no bad blood, I promise. So I love hearing your thoughts on no contact. I have struggled in the past with, like, for me, if I care about a person, I will hold on too long because my not give a f is strong.
Girl,
It's big
listen.
strong. So like once I don't care, once I don't want nothing to do with you, you gonna feel like you never existed. We never existed. Like that's just how it is with me. And I don't know how to be no other way, and I don't wish to be. And so I'm like, okay, no contact. Once we go there, baby, ain't no coming back because out of sight, out of mind.
My block
Literally.
game is very, very, very good. Like, it's strong. It's strong. Like, you should
She's
see my
strong.
list. But it's like, I I just really take that spiritual protection very serious. Like, even if it's not like exes, it might be like an ex friend, and it's just kind of like, this is
Mm,
I'm okay. I'm okay. I hope you're okay. I wish you the best. I have nothing else.
yeah,
I
I
don't want
feel
to
that.
waste my energy, and I really believe in not wasting my time. So I'm gonna go do something else with somebody.
Absolutely, because we know this isn't meant, right.
Mm-mm.
So okay, when it comes down to like um the whole idea of like, okay, now you're done, now you guys have mutually disconnected, or you have went the savage way. How do you clear your energy, like, or why is it like important to take that time and space to clear your energy before you go into something else? um because like in my experience of dealing with men, like especially men who have been hurt, when they don't take that time, they are very um projecting
Mm-hmm.
towards the women that they choose to deal with after, or like they come in contact, and it's like, dude, I'm not her. I am not her. I will never be her. And so where do you think this clearing of your mind takes place exactly, like, and how does it change the dynamic of like your next
So for
interaction with them?
me, this is gonna sound crazy, but you want to have amnesia. Like, no one has ever hurt me. Like,
Oh, I like that though.
because like you said, like the guys that get hurt, they come into these relationships expecting you to hurt them. And so now they're all guarded. They got this wall up. Nobody wants to fight you to love you. Like, this is not my responsibility, and I'm a bounce, because this isn't something that anyone should have to deal with. And so with the energy clearing, getting rid of the debris is almost kind of like, this allows you to really and truly date people as they are, and
As
not
they
to project or
are.
say, oh, so and so did this for me and they're not doing this. Oh, he opened the door and you're not doing that. Oh, he cut up my steak, but have
Yes.
amnesia. Have amnesia. And this really allows women to sit into their femininity of allowing the man to ask them questions, to see where their mind is, to, give to them. Because as women, we receive. But if
Right.
all I have is the receptors for my ex, I'm not going to be able to find my next or my husband or, like I'm married now. But
Yes.
if I were to go off of what everybody else did for me or what they didn't do for me or how they didn't love me, I would not have been able to receive love. I wouldn't have been able to receive the things that I have in my marriage because I'm comparing him to
'Cause-
what somebody, or even your dad. Like, I would have been comparing
Okay.
him to who my dad was. You know what I mean?
Okay. I
And
like that.
it doesn't allow for you to receive all of the good. I don't know if you believe in God, but all of the good that God has placed into the man that is in front of you for you to truly and fully receive that and to eventually become his wife if that is someone that is in alignment with who you have become and you realized you are through your self dating.
Hmm. Okay. By the way, I do believe in God wholeheartedly. But I also like I I agree with the not comparing them,
Mm-hmm.
but the amnesia part, I fear personally when like you forget, you don't remember how to protect yourself either. So it's like, where do we, is that a bad thing to like, because for me, I try to remember what I don't want so I don't end up in the same situation the next time or whatever. So like, I'm married of course now too, but like in the past I was in a very like traumatic relationship. Like, I've only really had maybe 3 to 4 real relationships in my life. And
Mm-hmm.
I say that's like 4 kind of like lightly because it's really like 3. But I just feel like they all taught me what I wanted and what I didn't want at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if I have amnesia, then where is my baseline at that point?
So, this is something that a lot of women aren't aware of because we have been indoctrinated with the thought that we need to be and move like men, and men move with their minds. They think of
Mm.
things, they see things. It's like, okay, is this dangerous? Is this not? And they are always calculating the scene. They're always like, they may not
I'm
look at
hiding
you.
behind my hand because I'm hurt. I'm
Hmm.
hurt. I am
But you
so
know
hurt.
what? I was raised to be like that. I have a dad who is a military vet. Like, I
My
was
husband
very.
calls me Drill Sergeant Jack.
But
Oh
the
man.
thing is, when you are always in your mind, you're always going to calculate how something can go wrong.
Mm. Okay.
And instead of actually looking at what could go wrong, get into your body. Get into your body. Does it feel right when he is, I don't know, you're on your first date and he's touching your thigh? Does that feel good in your mind and in your body? Like, does that mentally, it may
Okay.
be like, ooh, okay. But in your body, you may be like, I need a
It
little
makes
bit of
me a little
space.
uncomfortable.
I don't know you. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And
I
so
get
it's
it.
literally taking each second as it is and being like, this isn't something that I need to do. It's almost kind of a like, I can't even put it into words, but spiritually, like I was saying, spiritually protecting yourself, that happens within your body. You can feel when something is right or when something is off or when you need to leave the scene a little early because something's gonna pop off. You know what I mean? It's that women intuition
Intuition.
that you can lean into, and it's not a mental thing. It is more so a spiritual, I'm in my body, I can feel what's going down and what's
And
going on.
that's where the intentional dating is coming in. But
Mm-hmm.
like, first, like you said, you have to do the intentional living.
Yes.
And I get, so intentional living is very important to me, of course. So I get, it's coming together. Like, okay, at 30 years old as a married woman, I'm here for it. But at like 19, 20, I'm like, ma'am.
Mm-mm. 19, and you know what? I feel like at 19 and 20, you're not really dating with intention. And I feel like that is okay. This is my
Okay.
own personal experience and thoughts of it. That's literally, you're just dating. Like,
So
you're
your
just
level
figuring
up,
it out.
your dating has levels at that point. I feel like you're in the beginner stages, and then there's this intermediate, and then like, I get it. Like, it kind of elevates into intentional once you kind of reach that state of maturity to be that. So I get that. I definitely can see where we would get into, okay, I'm over this. I'm over this playing. I'm over this, um, just kind of lollygagging around. What do I really want for myself?
And I will say, let me backpedal, because there are some people who do marry their high school sweethearts. You know what I
Right.
mean? And at that time, I think they're just discovering what they like, but they're able to grow together. So I won't say
Yes.
everybody that's 18, 19 is just playing. I will say for me, I was having a good time.
Okay, most Sagittarius are okay, but I
Mhm.
definitely get that because I've always wondered how that works. I think people who have been together since they were in high school are some very phenomenal individuals because, baby, I don't know if that could have been me. I mean, of course, we all kind of like maybe romanticize that, but like, yeah, like it actually happening. I sit back and I'm mind blown because I'm like, wow, you guys really like
Like
you
each other.
guys a
Like
lot.
that's past love. Like y'all
Right,
continue to like
right.
each other. And I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to have that experience. But going into, that 18, 19, we're in college, we're dating ourselves and we're figuring out what we like. I
I
think in
think
a
it makes
lot.
it difficult to find yourself and like really like identify you outside of that other person.
Yeah,
Because
that's
now
true.
you're kind of like you literally are a unit, and it can be difficult to like really have those self-discovery moments. So now I think that you later down the line you kind of go through this, oh my god, I really don't know who I am because all I know is me and Jimmy or whatever. Like
Mhm.
that's all I know, that's all I've known. And it's like, oh, okay. And so I guess I can see the pros of it, and like how it can be beneficial, but also just kind of be detrimental to your self development as well. I
Yeah.
tell my son all the time, he's 9. I'm like, any of these little girls that you like, you're not gonna be with forever. Sorry,
Mm-mm. You're
it's
not. And
temporary.
that's what my parents would tell me when I was
Like
dating in high school. They're like,
I love you, son, and I don't want to
uh-uh.
break your heart, but I want you to know before your heart gets broken, because at 9 years old, your heart should not be getting broken. Like, I'm sorry. I just think that a lot of us allow our kids to experience trauma way too early,
Girl,
like with the whole
I've
relationship
already
stuff.
told myself like my children will not be dating until they're 16, because
Yeah.
even though I was dating when I was like 14, and that
Mm-hmm.
was by me begging. Girl, I was begging, let me date, let me
They
date.
begging.
It was just stupid. It was like this
It
is
was
a waste
pointless.
of my time. Like I wasn't even what
Yes.
girl.
No, I
Yeah,
get
no.
that. I get that. Um, so why do you think that women struggle with the like taking a break in between relationships? Like you see, especially like I'm not really into them anymore, but back in the day, like I used to be like into like love and hip hop and stuff like that, and like what's it called, Real Housewives and things like that. And you see some of those women, like every season they got a new man. They
Hmm.
don't have like the they didn't take the time in between the men. They just gotta have a man, that's to each his own. But why do you think that is a struggle for them to really just like bask in their own in their own essence?
That really, it's difficult. In my opinion, it is difficult because one, being in a relationship, I'm gonna say it can be seen as like a status symbol. And especially if
Mm-hmm.
they're on TV and stuff, it's like, oh, I got a new man. Like you finna see this. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
also it can be difficult to do that shadow work, because when you're by yourself and it's just you and God, you're gonna be faced with a lot of disorderly thoughts, I guess you could say, the things that you really need to work on, the shadows that you really need to address. And some people don't want to do that. They just want to be like, well, I just want to go party and have a good time and feel good. And so they
Feel.
get a relationship
Ugh.
and nothing is addressed. No, nothing is released. You still have debris from the last person. And another part, because you brought up love and hip hop, I think it's more so they're trying to get back at someone, Because
Okay.
you're on TV, so it's
I
like,
can
oh,
see
so and
that.
so gonna feel bad, for XYZ.
Yeah.
And I could see that being something that women do because we have Instagram and whatnot now too. So
Yeah. I
of
can see
course
that.
they don't want to block their ex because they want to show off X, Y,
You're
and
gonna
Z.
see this flex. Like, yeah, I get it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it does encourage you to level up a little bit, like in your choice. Cause now you're like, he can't see me with no dusty. Like,
We gotta do something better, bigger and badder. Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I can see that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
but I think that's like the superficial aspect. But I think
Yeah,
spiritually or deeper, they don't want to address those shadows
the
that.
shadows. Yeah, I see a lot of women point the finger. Like when I talk to
Mm-hmm.
like I have people that I talk to that come to me for like relationship advice and stuff like that. And a lot of times they're talking to me and they will tell on themselves in
Mm-hmm.
mid conversation when they're trying to put the blame on their partner. And it's like, no, 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 baby girl, you have to take some accountability here
Mm-hmm.
because he's been telling you X, Y, and Z, and you don't want to hear it. You're just so stuck on what it is you want and not dealing with the things that you need to deal with that it's easier to say, well, it's all on him. And so I think, like you said, moving on to another relationship, well, it's not me, it's him. Because if I can prove that
But the
by putting
same
another
problem.
person in this seat, then that's enough, right? But you're going to have the same problems in the next
Mm-hmm.
relationship because you didn't, excuse me, you didn't address the root, you didn't heal. And so I can see like how difficult that might be. But I couldn't imagine being, not trying to be funny. I know I'm 30 years old, but I could not imagine being 50 years old still trying to run away from my demons. Like still trying to run away from my shadow because I mean, at that point it's like, okay, now these girlies are going to date 10 years younger, 20 years younger. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no, like that's really showing. It is really telling, like, not to be judgmental, but I feel like that again is a deflection because
Mm-hmm.
now I can blame it on this little boy. No,
But you
you know what I
grown
mean?
up.
Like, yeah, it's like you have to really take a look at like, okay, why am I making this decision right now? Like, why am I okaying this? Is it
Mm-hmm.
because like men do it and it's okay and it's cool? Like, no, it's really they have issues. They need to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you know,
Exactly.
um, and that goes back circling around to intentional dating. Cause like if we were to talk about what's going on in the media right now with like Keisha Cole and Drea and all of the girlies that are like
See, I have
dating
no
like,
idea.
oh man, you need to get hip, honey. They I hate to say I love these women. That's the sad part. I love these women, but they are 40 something years old dating 22-year-olds, having babies with 21-year-olds. Yes.
That's interesting. I mean, I can't judge anybody, but
I'm not
like,
I'm not judging, but I am like
that's
it's
interesting.
saying a lot, right? About the guy and the gal because it's like there is some underlying things that would encourage you to be okay with these types of dynamics. Like, and don't mind you, they're celebrities. They got the money. They got all the things to like satisfy them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I mean, like Drea, her son is the same age as her baby's father that she's about to have a baby with right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? I'm like not
I'm in
necessarily curious,
disbelief with
but
it as well. I think it's more so like it's just acceptable in a certain way to the society or something, or maybe they hide it until they can't no more. I have no
you
idea.
know
I have to
what?
ask myself that
I
because
think
what is intentional about that? The only thing is intentional about it is the money.
I think honestly, it may be because someone that's younger than them can't tell them what to do. And
Ooh,
that's a whole nother conversation, but it's more so being able to be led. And
Okay.
usually a 20-year-old isn't serious about leading anyone. So you can do your thing and I'm going to go
And
do
I'm gonna
my
do
thing.
my thing.
And that's what a lot of, I've seen at least, that a lot of women want. They're like, mm, I
I
want to go
think
to
you
my
get to
my
that
thing.
place after being kind of misled and like being I can see that how you could get to that place where I don't want anybody like because my grandma, she's older and she's like, I don't want a husband, like I don't like her and my grandfather, they got divorced like years ago, like decades ago, and she was like, after that I just was not interested because it kind of was nice being free from like having to be somewhere and do this and stuff at this time and like answer to someone because old school, like you're answering to your husband, like that's just
Yeah.
that. And she's like, yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
And I think so I can see where we would get to a place where like I want somebody who's gonna let me just be, because I'm not
Hmm.
gonna lie, I'm a Sagittarius and I need to just be a lot like in this. And my husband he has had to adjust a little bit, because I can't feel caged in and controlled, and it will make me withdraw.
Hmm.
Like, it's not, and I do want to be led, like that's not the thing. A lot of people misunderstand like my character because they think, oh, I'm bossy and I just want to do what I want to do. Like, no, it's about how you do it. It's about
Right.
how you lead. It's about how you, and guide me here and there. I don't do well with like aggression and strict instruction. And I don't even try to be. It's just like natural to me. But like I know that I will tell you, like I'm coming from a place of just passion. This is how I talk,
Hmm.
you
And
know?
see, that's a part of intentional dating, for you to know this is what I like to do. This is how I like to be. This is how I like to present myself, and to be
Hmm.
able to date someone that loves that about you,
Right.
that
Saturn
is
loves that.
able to lead you while you're still being yourself. Because my husband is very quiet, and
Yes.
we were having a conversation, and I was like, I want to be so just friendly that it's like I don't need anything else. Like I'm just out there and I'm just happy and I'm like, hey girl, like what's going on? And I'm completely sober and just like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And he's like, oh no, that's too friendly for me. But that
Yeah.
works for us because I'm able to be super
Yeah.
friendly and amazing and just like out there. And he's just like chilling. He's scoping the scene, making sure that wherever we are, it's fully protected and I can go and frolic.
Hmm.
Like that is what works for us. And I'm able to like literally let go of all guards. I'm not looking or checking the scene. I'm just like having a good time. But that's a part of intentional dating of you know who you are. You know how you like to show up. Is that a good compliment to me? Or are we both gonna be like acting, a little rowdy? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yes.
the main part of it is you knowing you and what could fit into your current life and circumstance and the way in which you want to live and who you want to be in 20, 50 years.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So like with that, where do you so we start with intentional dating, but like we intentional dating. We start with intentional living and lead into intentional dating. The steps to intentional living, like of course I teach them, but what does that mean to you? Like what does intentional living look like to prepare you to be able to kind of set the standard for yourself?
So it's basically leaning into you and what you like to do. And I like to think of it as just like a free for all. Like, do you want to learn how to roller skate? Okay, cool. Try it. See if you like it. If you do, continue to do it. If you want to get better, continue to do it. And just allowing yourself to have the experiences that you want to have, like literally living your life on your terms. Like, nobody can tell you yay or nay. If you want to be an entrepreneur, of course, you're going to hear no a lot. But if that's something that you want to do, go ahead and be intentional about that. Like, okay, I'm going to show up consistently. Okay,
And
I'm
keep
going to
going.
make sure, yeah, you just keep going with what you have set yourself up to be and who you
Hmm.
want to be and being very intentional with it. And with that intentionality is saying no to the things that are not in alignment with you. Like, for me, I don't like being out late. Like I like to start, my wind down at 3. So if you have something at, let's say, 8:30, that's usually when I'm, getting ready to lay my babies down. If that is not in alignment with my goals and my values, it is incompatible. I'm not
Okay.
doing it. I'm not available. I can't help you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if something is happening, if I have to spend the night overnight somewhere without my children, it's incompatible because my rule of thumb for myself personally is I'm going to be there for them when they wake up in the morning to make breakfast, and I'm going to be there to tuck them in at night. And if something is happening outside of that time, it is incompatible. I can't, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. You have some very strong boundaries there. I definitely, I'd like to learn more about that and where that come from, because I mean, I get it. I definitely have some strong ones myself. I think over the years I've kind of I've allowed other people to break some of them down just because I felt like I was too rigid. I've been told that, like, oh, you're too rigid, you know. But now thinking about it more and definitely hearing you say like it's incompatible, and I can see where that would steer me out of the realm of where I was trying to go, because I allowed this idea that something is wrong with me. Like I'm too invested in this
Mm-hmm.
structure. And it's like, no, like if you feel that way truly, then we just don't align. And I think that's kind of where I'm coming back to in my lifestyle of intentional living, is realizing how I've allowed others to come in and kind of break down my intention,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, mm, well, these people are important. One of them being my husband, right? One of them being someone who is supposed to be with me. And at one point, we were on the same page and we were, we lived a similar way. And then I began to grow and change. And that's where the incompatibilities came in. Like, that's where the inconsistencies came in. Is like, then I have people agreeing with him, like, oh, she's too rigid. Like, she needs to lighten up. She needs to do this. And it's like, but this is what I want. And it's okay if you don't want it. And I've been transparent with you about my life. Like, I'm okay with us not being together if that's not the case, you know? Um, but people will, try to compromise with you. Like, they'll try to like kind of say, okay, well, I'm gonna try to meet you there. But they don't realize like how much that's gonna take from them if that's not their own want. This is my
Exactly.
own want. Like, this is really, like, I have a passion for the way I want to live. You have to have the same passion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like really, really like loving this. I know we're about to have to wrap this up, but I'm really, really loving this talk about intentional dating and intentional living, because sometimes even us that are already like in a relationship, our intention for our life changes as we grow and we develop and move forward. And our partners either have to grow with us or realize that like, unfortunately, it can happen. Like, we can grow apart. Like, we cannot, this is not working. Like, what I once wanted, I don't want anymore, you know? And that's okay. So I do want to talk about that, because I think that that is a conversation that really needs to be had for the people who are like scared to say that. Like, I have really grown out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, I love you, but I'm a I'm a brand new bitch.
But we're gonna have to do
Right.
something.
So yeah, like, I'm definitely here for it. Is there anything else that you like might want to add to this topic, or like, touch on before we head on out of here?
um, Choose you always. When you are dating with intention,
Mm-hmm.
always choose you. Always choose your comfort and your own self love and recognition before anyone else. Because when you are looking for external recognition, that's when things can get a little hairy and not
Right.
necessarily desirable. So always choose you, always give yourself what you need first, and then he can come. He can come until he puts a ring on it and says, I want to marry you and be in it. Choose you.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter where you are in life, what stage you are in life, you should choose you, because at the end of the day, they're gonna choose them while you're in it. Like, they're gonna choose them and you're gonna have to deal with it, you know?
Nobody needs you more than you need yourself.
Absolutely.
I can't get from an empty cup, so.
Yes. Them hoes, boy, they be pouring out. All right. I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for, just bringing the value and the light to this podcast. You always have such good insight, and you just bring some pizzazz to this platform, and I just appreciate it. I We didn't talk much about what you do, so I do want to give you the opportunity to share with our listeners and viewers what it is that you do and how you can serve them and how they can reach out to you. So if you'd like to go ahead and tell them what that is, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. So I am a boudoir photographer as well as a sensuality mentor. So this basically means that I mentor women on how to create a luscious, delicious life. And today we talked about dating, but it encompasses every single aspect of being a woman, from rearing children to having children to having a husband, and even having your own self-care aspects, as well as deepening into your own self-love. So I really cheer women on into them loving the life that they were given and creating a life that they really and truly desire.
Absolutely.
Oh, you can find
Okay.
me on Instagram at Mrs.ToriaJermaine. Yep.
You beat me to it. I was going to say, how can they find you? Don't forget that part. Um, so all of her information will be put in the details, the comments. Of course, you guys are more than welcome to join us again. We have another podcast episode. I think on the podcast from a year ago. So if you just look for it, you'll find it. And you probably will learn more in that one as well. But don't forget to subscribe and join the Luxe Conversations with JC community for weekly episodes filled with inspiration, empowerment, and transformation, because that is what we are here for. This is where manifestation, mindset, and lifestyle connect. And I look forward to seeing y'all next time.